Ever wondered how it feels to weigh more than 2.5 times your usual weight? No, we're not talking about the after effects of a holiday feast. Welcome to Jupiter. This gas giant is the largest planet in our solar system, known for its massive size and strong gravitational pull. Imagine, you'd weigh 2.5 times more than your Earth weight. So if you're looking for a quick way to gain weight without all the eating, Jupiter might just be your next vacation spot. Jupiter, the heavyweight champion of our solar system, isn't shy about its size. It's so big, you could fit over 1,300 Earths inside it. Now that's not just big, that's humongous. If Jupiter were a cookie jar and Earths were cookies, you'd need a baker's lifetime to fill it up. Now let's get a sense of scale here. If Earth were the size of a nickel, Jupiter would be about as big as a basketball. That's right, our entire world compacted into a tiny coin, while Jupiter takes up the space of a whole sports ball. Now that's a lot of air, or should we say a lot of hydrogen and helium, since that's what Jupiter is primarily composed of. And let's not forget about Jupiter's impressive belt size. While Earth measures a modest 24,900 miles around its equator, Jupiter boasts a staggering 286,000 miles. That's like wrapping a belt around the Earth 11 times. Talk about needing an extension. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Jupiter is big, but what about the sun? Well, even though the sun makes Jupiter look like a marble in comparison, let's not forget that the sun is a star, not a planet. In the planetary weight class, Jupiter is the undisputed champ. So how does Jupiter maintain its massive size? Well, it's all down to its composition. Jupiter is a gas giant, meaning it's mostly made up of hydrogen and helium, similar to the sun. And while it's often referred to as a failed star because it lacks the mass needed for nuclear fusion, we think it's doing just fine as the heavyweight planet of our solar system. So remember, when it comes to size, Jupiter is the big kid on the block. And we mean really big. It's the celestial equivalent of that oversized teddy bear at the carnival, dwarfing everything else on the midway. And just like that teddy bear, Jupiter's size is part of what makes it so captivating, so awe-inspiring, and so incredibly fascinating. You think your acne is bad? Just wait till you hear about Jupiter's great red spot. Now, if you thought your never-ending pimple was a nightmare, then you're in for a real treat. This zit has been festering on Jupiter's skin for a whopping 300 years or more. Talk about an unwelcome guest. We're not just talking about a measly storm here. The Great Red Spot is a tempestuous whirlpool of epic proportions. Imagine Earth, right? Now take that image and multiply it by 2. That's the scale we're dealing with. This storm could swallow our home planet twice over and still have room for dessert. Now, this isn't your run-of-the-mill storm. It's a high-pressure region in the atmosphere of Jupiter, producing winds that clock in at a staggering 430 kilometers per hour. That's roughly 3 times stronger than the fiercest hurricane ever recorded on Earth. It's like the Hulk of storms. And here's the kicker. It's been raging on for at least 3 centuries and possibly even longer. Galileo first spotted this blemish back in the 17th century. Picture this. While humans were inventing the piano and discovering gravity, Jupiter was just chilling with a storm that could outlive us all. Interestingly, the Great Red Spot is slowly shrinking. But don't get too excited. At its current pace, it'll still be around for a good few hundred years. It's like that one pimple that just refuses to pop, no matter how many skincare products you throw at it. So what's causing this eternal tempest? The truth is, scientists are still scratching their heads. Some think it's fueled by Jupiter's internal heat, while others believe it's kept alive by absorbing smaller storms. It's a cosmic mystery waiting to be unraveled. So the next time you're feeling bad about that spot on your face, just remember, it could be worse. You could be Jupiter. You know how Earth has just one moon? Well, Jupiter looked at that and said, "Hold my beer." You see, Jupiter is the proud parent of a whopping 79 moons. Yes, you heard that right, 79. That's enough to host a cosmic soccer tournament and still have moons left over for cheerleading. Among these celestial bodies, 4 stand out from the crowd. They're known as the Galilean moons, named after Galileo Galilei, who discovered them in the early 17th century. Let's take a quick tour, shall we? First up, we have Io, the most volcanic body in our solar system. It's constantly erupting, spewing out sulfur and sulfur dioxide. If you're into fireworks, Io is the moon for you. Next, we have Europa, which is a bit of a mystery. Beneath its icy surface, scientists believe there may be an ocean twice the volume of all of Earth's oceans combined. So, if you've ever dreamed of alien mermaids, Europa is your best bet. Then there's Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system. It's even bigger than the planet Mercury. Ganymede has its own magnetic field and is the only moon known to have one. Talk about overachieving. Lastly, we have Callisto, known for having the oldest and most heavily cratered surface in the solar system. This moon is like the wise old grandpa of the Jovian system, with stories etched into its ancient surface. And let's not forget the other 75 moons, each with its own unique story. Some are tiny, some are oddly shaped, and some even travel in the opposite direction of Jupiter's rotation. Talk about rebellious. So while we on Earth gaze up at our single solitary moon, Jupiter enjoys the company of a multitude of celestial companions. It's like the life of the party in the solar system, surrounded by a crowd of glittering guests. So, if you're feeling lonely on Earth with just one moon, Jupiter's 79 moons might just be the company you're looking for. Jupiter isn't just big in size, it also has a magnetic personality, literally. Now, when we say Jupiter has a magnetic personality, we're not talking about its charm, though it does have plenty of that too. No, we're referring to Jupiter's colossal magnetic field, the strongest of any planet in our solar system. This magnetic field is so powerful that it extends millions of kilometers into space. That's like stretching a rubber band from Earth all the way to the moon and back, over 100 times. And what does this magnetic field do, you ask? Well, it's like Jupiter's very own superhero shield. It traps charged particles and creates radiation belts so intense, they'd make even the Hulk think twice. So, while we're here on Earth worrying about sunburn, Jupiter's got a much more radioactive situation on its hands, or poles rather. Speaking of poles, Jupiter's magnetic field doesn't just protect it from cosmic rays, it also puts on quite a show. You've heard of the northern and southern lights on Earth, right? Well, Jupiter has its own version of these, the Jovian auroras. They're like Earth's auroras, but on a cosmic steroid diet. These spectacular light shows are created when charged particles interact with Jupiter's atmosphere. It's like Jupiter's throwing a rave party and the whole solar system's invited. But how does Jupiter's magnetic field compare to ours? Well, if Earth's magnetic field were a refrigerator magnet, Jupiter's would be one of those industrial electromagnets they use to lift cars in junkyards. It's that powerful. So there you have it. Jupiter's magnetic field is not just a protective shield and a spectacular light show, it's also a testament to the planet's incredible power and complexity. And let's not forget, it's a great conversation starter. I mean, how many other planets do you know with such a magnetic personality? So if you're ever feeling down, just think about Jupiter. It's not only big and beautiful, it's also magnetic. Well, folks, our journey to Jupiter is coming to an end, but the fascination never stops. We've traversed the cosmic landscape to bring you closer to this giant, and what a journey it's been. Let's take a moment to reflect on the incredible sights we've seen and the knowledge we've gathered. We started by marveling at Jupiter's massive size, a true titan among planets. It's so large, in fact, it could swallow all other planets in our solar system combined. Then we gazed upon the iconic Great Red Spot, a storm that's been raging for at least 3 centuries. Talk about a persistent acne problem. Our journey then took us to Jupiter's many moons, 79 in total. From the volcanic Io to the icy Europa, each one is a world of its own, teeming with geological wonders and potential secrets about life in the cosmos. Lastly, we dived into Jupiter's magnetic personality. Its powerful magnetosphere extends millions of kilometers into space, creating a protective shield that traps charged particles and produces intense radiation belts. It's like Jupiter's personal space boundary, and boy is it vast. So next time when someone asks you about Jupiter, just tell them it's the biggest, most magnetic, and moon-rich planet with a persistent acne problem. Until our next space journey, stay curious and keep exploring.